You wouldn't possibly guess what we're going to do today. No way you would guess. Come on. All right. So I've got my knife. I've got my gloves on, which means it's unboxing time. We've been waiting for these speakers for quite a while. Ironically enough, the Saturday past, we had this wonderful event with Mark Levinson from Daniel Hertz doing a Zoom call with us and our clients. 4 sessions, incredible. From what I gather, our clients really enjoyed the event, and ironically enough, it was supposed to be with the speakers, the Amber Midnights, but unfortunately they got stuck in customs waiting to be cleared, and so we had to do something else with Daniel Hertz and Mark Levinson. Thankfully, it was no big issue. In fact, it was fun. And of course, a few days after the event, these finally arrived. So these are the new Ambers. They're called the Amber Midnights. The previous Ambers were called the Ambers. But as is typical of Mark, he and his brain never stops working. And he was wondering what would happen if he replaced the enclosure material of the original Amber, which is MDF, with something called wave glass, which is, I guess, a trademark name for perspex or acrylic. And so they made a couple of prototypes with the perspex, and they found it to be incredibly better. So according to Mark, wave glass or perspex is non-porous, 2.5 times denser than wood and less resonant. So that's why they decided to do that. And then while doing so, they also experimented with a new driver, still a 10-inch driver. It's a dual concentric with a tweeter in the center. And this driver is designed and manufactured in Italy. And again, they found it to be substantially improved over the original Amber. And so they decided to make this new speaker, which is now called Amber Midnight. So let me open it up, show you what it is, we'll break it in, and then we'll report back with our first impressions. Now before I do that, the Amber Midnight is 13,200 euro, or approximately 14,395 US dollars. I say approximately because I don't know what the US price is. This is just based on an exchange rate that I found on the internet, so it could be plus or minus that amount. All right, let me open it up and then I will get into more details later. So here we go. First of all, I've purposely turned this around so you can see this, and it says this way up. So this morning when I was getting the speakers ready, put them in the hallway, you will notice that the enclosure, the box, is done in such a way so that there's like a top hat, or in this case a bottom hat, and then you've got this sleeve that goes into it. And when I was looking at this, I didn't see this. I thought, you know what? I'm going to tell Mark and his shipping company, his shipping department, to make some signs that says this side up or this way up, so that when you're opening up the speaker, it's obvious. And of course, I turned it around and I saw this sign. So just be aware, when you order the speaker, it should come with this little sign that says this way up. All right, it also is strapped, so we're going to cut the straps. Easier said than done. Here we go. Come on. There we go. Now, it's the first time I'm opening it, so I'm not sure exactly how it is, but I'm just going to cut the tape. Now, again, like Macintosh and AccuFace, it should come with this tape that says Daniel Hertz on it, so you know it's brand new. All right. Now, presumably, this should just slide off. Oh, it does. I'm not as dumb as I look. Curtis is laughing. How dare you, Curtis? Oh, look at this. All right, so first impressions, packaging is really nice. By the way, guys, were you here when the speakers were delivered? Were you guys here when it was no? Okay, so you don't know. I'll find out later whether or not they come on skids. I would assume they do. So you have 2 styrofoam pieces, nice and thick, that sandwich the speaker and keeps it in place. One goes on the front, the other one goes on the back. And comes with the Daniel Hertz speaker wire. The speakers are wrapped, it looks like, in relatively thick gauge plastic wrap, sort of akin to saran wrap, but it looks like it's much thicker, okay? And, oh, very nice. I'm just going to lift this up so the guys can see a bit better. Ah, wow, it's heavy. Okay, so, come on, okay. This is the back, and it's nicely wrapped. Let me just take this off because it'll be easier for me to do this. I must say, whoever put the wrap on it did a masterful job. I mean, this is not exactly the easiest material to work with. So to be able to do it in such a way so that it looks nice and neat and covers all the surfaces, did a great job. Okay, so finally, all done. So first let's start with the front. Okay, so this is an all-new 10-inch woofer with a tweeter right in the middle, so it's a dual concentric driver. This driver is designed and manufactured in Italy. From what I gather, it's also from the professional world. I'm not sure if there's any customization done specifically for Daniel Hertz, but I also, if I remember correctly, this company supplies to one of the largest pro manufacturers of guitar amplifiers and so on. So very, very sensitive, something like 97 dB per watt per meter at 8 ohms. So very, very, very sensitive, which means theoretically, if you wanted to, you could use single-ended amplifiers or low-powered triode amplifiers to drive these speakers. The impedance is also very flat. Sorry, not flat, but rather quite high. It's at 8 ohms. The sides are interesting. It's radius at the top, so it's nice and rounded at the top and the sides. And then there's a channel right all around through. It's almost as if, I don't know that that's true, but I'm assuming it might be the case. They manufactured the cabinet, and then the front baffle is then somehow inserted and glued into place. Maybe that's why they've got this. Again, I'm guessing. So very straightforward in terms of the way it looks. It's beautifully finished, black mirror polish in this case. Wave glass, one of the benefits of wave glass is that it also comes in a variety of finishes. So according to Mark, ivory will be available, anthracite, and red, Chinese red, as they call it. And then on the back, you have the trademark, if you will, or standard Daniel Hertz stainless steel finished plate. And it says Amber over here. And then, of course, you got the binding posts. And then finally, two vertical rectangular slots for the ports. So very simple. So frequency response is rated from 30 to 20,000 cycles. And because it's a dual concentric design, you should get really good point source imaging. Now, when we listen to the original Ambers, definitely one of the things that you notice is that the imaging was very sharp and very precise, much like what you would expect out of a point source speaker. One thing that Mark tells me to expect is that these speakers will be extremely dynamic, very powerful sounding, and even better than the already very good Ambers. So I'm actually really looking forward to hearing what these speakers sound like. They are shipping now, although production has just begun. So if you order them, be prepared to wait for maybe to 8 weeks, which is not necessarily unusual because Daniel Hertz is on purpose a small company. Mark has decided to keep the company small, to maintain the artisanal qualities, and also in this way he can make sure that everything is done precisely according to design, and quality control is very, very good, and they can also support every one of the purchases. And incidentally, one of the things that's really interesting about Daniel Hertz is that you can email Mark through the website, and then he will respond. And if you needed to make a call with him to talk about your needs and your questions and so on, he will respond. One thing about Mark is that he's extremely good with taking care of his clients and the questions. The boys here will tell you when we were preparing, for example, for the event, he was always very responsive and making sure that we had all the questions that we had answered and all the needs taken care of to make sure that the event was highly successful for our visitors. Speaking of that, Mike will be editing the video. It probably won't go live for another week or so because there's quite a lot to go through. There's a lot of content. So Mike's going to sift through all that content and then go live when he's done. But this will go live first. So anyway, thanks for watching this. And if you have any questions, please email me. If you own the previous Amber, tell me how you like it. Put it in the comments below. If you've not heard Daniel Hertz, boy, I know it's not easy right now because there's not a lot of distribution. Mark is slowly but surely expanding distribution across the world. So hopefully more and more of you will be able to get to hear them. But if you have heard them, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to read what you think. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.